Hey, what's up, Acapellics? Welcome back to AcapellicTV podcast with your boy Celestino Valencia, aka Acapella. And today we're joined by the one and only, as you guys may know him already, if you have been tuned to the podcast, Desmond Bonet. So Desmond Bonet, man, it's a pleasure having you back again on the podcast,
Yeah,
man.
appreciate it, man.
Shit, man, you were telling me you just came out of work and stuff. Crazy
Yeah,
shit, man.
living regular life, man. Enjoying living regular life. Let me say that, man.
Yeah, of course, man. There's a lot of people up there, who would like to have a regular life and not have the spotlight on them to do regular shit, like regular people. So I
Mhm.
think it's a blessing.
Definitely, man.
I think everything is a blessing and a curse. It depends on how you see it.
Definitely. Perspective is everything for me. It's hard to really explain. I would just, I guess, like to sum it up. Just had to like realize what I truly wanted, and a big realization of that was just understanding that although I have a love for music, me being the center of attention and things like that was never really like a want for me. You know, we
Yeah,
all
I see.
we all want to live comfortably and things of that nature. But as far as certain things that I would say that you have to do, I had to come to the realization like I'm not willing to do those things, but that doesn't mean that you don't find success somewhere else. I'm very very appreciative and grateful to say that I live a nice life, and I'm a regular guy.
Yeah, no, it's good though. You live in peace and stuff. Than being in that life where as you may know, when it comes to being a musician like that, like a Drake or something like that, you just imagine what the schedule looks like. They don't even know what they're doing. They're just getting told, "Hey, you're doing this at this time, at that time, you're doing this and that, and interviews and this and that, and music." They don't even know what they're doing, man. They're just going here, they're going there. They're being, it's hectic. I can only imagine how hard it must be. That's the reason why not a lot of people stay up there.
Definitely, man, and you know, um, people don't understand like the sacrifice that it takes. Like there's a large percentage of artists who never been in like a real relationship, who don't have kids, you know what I mean, who don't even understand, just certain feelings that come with natural life because of the dreams and the goal and the money. And I understand, it's important, but
Yeah.
that shouldn't be the driving, force for somebody. But hey, but like you said earlier, perspective is everything. Everybody look at things differently. For me, I just had to like just, realign myself and just rethink some things and really, really figure out what I wanted for me
Yeah.
versus me trying to do certain things to, please other people. And sometimes artists, we get caught up doing that in the music. It becomes less about what we want to do with it, and it's more about catching the next sound that's gonna please, whatever listener. And for me, it's like, at this point in life, I'm like, and I'll say this is my first time saying this publicly. People in my personal life know this, but my last album was last year, 2021.
Hmm.
You understand? Wearing, merch from that right now.
We're gonna get into that, man.
That was like my last of it, like, period. And now, if I do make music, it's like literally for me, nobody else. There's no, is this gonna go number? Is this gonna catch a buzz? Is this gonna get me known? Is it gonna do this, that? They're gonna like that? None of that is even in my head because I'm just like comfortable with knowing where I'm at, where's certain things creatively.
Yeah, no, I definitely relate with everything you're saying, man. Me myself, from my personal experience, I've been doing this music shit since I was probably like 14, 15. No, never really knew what it was to even date or a relationship or anything like that. Because my certain thing was I have to get out the hood. I need to provide for my family. I need to get a better life. And music is my passion. I dropped out of high school. I have no other way. I can't. I want to become a doctor astronaut, but due to the circumstances of life, I couldn't, you know, get there because money, finance, and problems at home, and
Hmm.
so many problems going on around me, and being a type of rebellion child and youngster, it just didn't. It wasn't a good mix. And until 2019 when I had this accident, it made me slow down. I couldn't do anything. I didn't have the energy. I couldn't move. Basically, I couldn't even do anything. I couldn't even do the bathroom by myself. I couldn't walk or anything. So, I had a horrible accident where it was a life and death circumstance. And, that made me realize, hey, man, music ain't really everything, because you could have died and you didn't even know what it was to even date or be in a relationship, because you've been chasing your goals and chasing money, and you're chasing the next sound and how to better yourself in music and that. You've been doing all of these things, but you never really focus on your mental health. You never focus on uh, building a real life, reliving real life experiences when it comes to dating or going out and just going out to have dinner,
Mhm.
just time for yourself or friends or family. I didn't even have friends. That's the funny thing. It was just more like people who I knew, like yourself, it's like, hey, what's up, boom, boom, connecting and this and that and everything, but nothing to that extent, And I did have a friend, but certain things happened around in a mix where it just fucked up everything. And he was like my brother, and thank God that we connected again. And
Mhm.
it's a big thing. You get lost in the sauce if
No,
you're not careful with it.
definitely. And one of the biggest, I would say, downfalls a lot of people is, and I'll say we, because I was there at one point. We let ourselves get clouded and try to pretend like certain things is not happening when it's happening like right in front of you.
Yeah,
We're just choosing to focus on this certain thing in this area while letting this whole big part that's as equal of importance, if not more, we just letting this shit fall apart while still, trying to chase these things that life, or I don't even know like who to blame it on at this point. It's just the world's teaching, everybody money, money, money. You gotta be, and they, this, especially with this generation, you know, social media and things like that. They teach you that that's the only medium as far as gaining success.
it's
Sports,
not.
music, social media, you know. So
Yeah,
it's,
man, and it's not, man. Like
before my father cut you off, before we continue, I do want to say that, and I don't know if you have done it before. I caught a few episodes of your podcast and shit. I want to personally say, like, you need to pat yourself on the back. Like that's not
oh,
only
for sure.
commendable, but that's motivation for a lot of people. Me just hearing you say you couldn't move and shit like that. Like I done seen a lot of shit, growing up where I grew up and been through a lot, but never experienced that. So the fact that you was able to bounce back and
Oh,
just
hell yeah.
find a whole direction, man. For a lot of people watching this, if y'all don't know, man, I was on Acapellic the 2016,
Ooh,
15, 16.
something somewhere around there, man. I lost track of
So,
time.
we don't hang out, shit like that, but we will
Of
always,
course.
DM each other, how you doing, how you been, trying to set things up, sending music back and forth and shit. Like Acapellic is a big supporter, so I had to make sure I said that on your platform to let the people know, like you came a long way. You understand? Like go to the YouTube channel and just go all the way down and just like go all the way back and you can see like all the work, man.
Of
And
course.
that.
You yourself too, man. I heard your new project, which I want to get into, soon. Fucking amazing, man. I think it was like your best body of work with Lena too, man. I was like, oh, they're still going at it, man. That's what's up, man. I can't wait to see what y'all got in the works. But yeah, man, and I saw you doing some mental health episodes too on your YouTube channel, correct?
Yeah, man.
What?
So during the pandemic, you know, everything shut down. Everybody's in the house. People scrambling. Nobody know what to do. I've always been a homebody, so me being home wasn't really like the problem. It was me trying to actively stay busy while I'm home. Because there's a difference between, you working all day, you come home
Mm,
and you relaxing and shit. You don't really want to go out and party. It's a
yeah,
difference between that and, basically somebody telling you like you gotta stay home, you can't go nowhere. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I basically just started studying myself and just for me to take a moment to backtrack, honestly in 2017 I started like reading up on the causes of depression and anxiety and shit like that. I've dealt with depression like damn near my whole life.
Same here, man.
Growing up, obviously, I didn't know that what that was. But in 2017, I kind of just got tired of not only the way certain things was going, but just kind of me myself. And a lot of people won't admit this, but there's times where we get tired of ourselves. You
Oh yeah.
understand? So I basically just took a deep dive into me and, try to figure out why and how, depression came into my life, what actually caused it, what causes anxiety for me. And within me taking a deep dive into that, I kind of figured out a lot of other things. I used to deal with a lot of anger issues. You understand? Like I had
Same.
a lot of anger towards my sperm donor, my biological father. You understand? So I
Feel you,
basically
man.
had to break that down. And in the midst of me doing that, it's like it's like one of those things to where you watch motivational speakers and they say these amazing things that make you feel good, but sometimes it's unfulfilling because you're chasing what they're saying and you never really reach that. It's almost like it starts to feel like it's impossible, like it's out of reach.
Yeah.
This was the opposite. I actually started to feel better, looking up different routines, watching different shows based around mental health, just learning about meditation and just the different things to help you personally. I actually started to feel it. Like I felt good.
Same.
Still to this day, when I wake up in the morning, I gotta wake up to either Biggie Juicy or Big Pun 100%. One of those two songs. Soon as I wake up in the morning, while everybody else, when they wake up, they go straight to social media. First thing I do when I get up, grab my phone, I'm playing one of those songs and I'm starting my day. I do my little calisthenics workout, you know what I mean? Drink my smoothie. I pay more attention to doing things that make me feel good and diving into mental health. Those was one of like the biggest takeaways for me. So within doing that, I basically came up with the idea to create a show that was not necessarily based around breaking down mental health, but I created a show to show people that mental health directly correlates with your everyday life. Growing up, when people hear mental, a lot of people think of crazy. Oh, there's something wrong with that person. I wanted to show people that the brain is a muscle. You understand?
It is.
If you go to the gym and you don't work out your stomach, you'll never see a six pack.
True.
Which means you never tried, you never worked at it. That to me is what the mind is. You have to constantly train the mind. There's a lot of people who are overthinkers and don't know how to really stop that. But once you learn, it doesn't mean that it's gonna immediately stop. You got to keep doing that over and over and over. So that's what I did when I first started meditating. Trash didn't work for me. I thought it was, just being honest. I thought it was just dumb as fuck. Felt like I even looked stupid, but I
Yeah.
kept doing it, and it got to the point to where I could be in a room full of 100 people, and I'm still able to calm myself enough to meditate for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I feel you,
And
man.
these are things that you just have to train. And basically, long story short, like the best example I could give is somebody who's not necessarily mentally healthy is, in my opinion, I'll give you this example. If you wake up in the morning and you stomp your toe, to give you an example of someone who's not fully mentally healthy, that small incident would travel into the whole day. And the whole day will be bad because it's based on
That one little problem.
exactly. And instead of looking at it as just something that passes by, a lot of people look at it like, oh, this is how my day started out. So the rest of my day is going to be shit.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I had to learn that too, man. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason because it's gonna direct you to where you belong and where you want to get to. Yeah, we're gonna stumble and fall along the way, but it's all part of the journey. That's what makes the journey so beautiful, man. Because once you get there, you're like, damn, I went through this and I went through that and all of this, and I got here and I'm standing tall. And even after everything, like I still got it because it's just beautiful, man. You know, I went through the same thing. I started reading about self love and why I didn't love myself. Why was I feeling this way? What was I letting emotions get to me? Why I was how to better myself, how to feel better. I learned working out. You know, it starts by cleaning your bed. It starts by, you know, going out. It starts by going to the gym, committing to the gym, going every day to the gym, having a certain schedule, eating right, you know, reading and all these things. And instead of just looking at your phone 24/7, because that's a big problem because the phone is so accessible. You know,
Mhm.
it's right there. Anything you need, you know, TikTok, mainly TikTok, how addictive it is nowadays, and Instagram and all these chicks are Instagram models and, you know, porn and all these things, you know, it's like, it's crazy, you know, and you also have to make time for yourself. Just like you make time for work, you got to make time for yourself. You know, self love is very important to at least take yourself out to buy yourself something nice or going out to, you know, have dinner, even if it's by yourself. You know, you don't specifically need anybody. You know, it starts with yourself because if you're doing things with somebody or for someone, then it's just gonna drag you all downhill. I'm not saying you don't need help. It just means that sometimes you gotta do some things alone, you know, because that's how you get to where you want to get to. I don't know if what I'm saying is clear enough, you know.
No, yeah, definitely relate to that. Everything you said is a big part of the reason why I decided to, come up with that show. Because, like I said, people think of mental and they go into the negative part. And at the same time, I just wanted to show a different way of helping people in terms of like the mental side. Because let's be real, a lot of people in the black and brown communities don't have access to therapists.
Yeah,
The way we grew up, we're taught that therapist is either a white people thing or it's a
you're
crazy.
crazy.
You understand? So I wanted to create something that allowed people to feel more comfortable. So for the people tuning in, you could just type in Desmond Bonet, it'll pop up my YouTube channel, FLND TV. I basically created a show titled The Room, where having a healthy mind is priority.
You should keep doing that, man. You know, that's what actually brought me back here to doing the podcast, to actually embracing artists like yourself who I deeply admire, you know, and I love your music and your journey and who you guys are, you know. It's not just the music, but it's who you guys are as a person, as an individual. Like, oh damn, you know. Sometimes I don't even know who the person is. I come in and bring them in the podcast. I'm like, yo, this person is fucking lit, you know. I'm like, yo, that's fucking cool. But that's what allows. You see, I have my story, but then you have your story, and there's people who can relate to you, and they can relate to me. So then it makes them be like, okay, so Desmond did it, and we have similar lives, and I could definitely do it, you know. And that's actually made me want to get back here because after the whole accident, like I said, you know, it just, you know, I'm the type of person who is very stubborn. So when I saw myself in that position, that was telling me, hey, you might never go back to real life. I said, what? Really? All right, I'll show you. And I got back to it, man. You know, I started working
I'm
out,
glad you bring it
meditating,
back.
yoga. I said, I'm gonna get this shit because I'm gonna get this shit. And I'm almost back to normal, you know. I never am the type of person that let anything or anybody tell me something I can't do, you know, can or can't do. I have to get in my way or the highway. I'm
As
kind of a
you
bit
should,
of a hardhead, you know.
as you should, man. Listen, at the end of the day, if we don't believe in ourselves, if we don't motivate ourselves, then it'll be damn near asinine to ask somebody else to do that for us. You understand? So that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
fact that you even right here, I'll be watching the videos, man. I see you in the gym and all that, man. Like I'll be tapped in, man. So that's why I had to say that. Like it's a blessing of the fact
thank
that
you, man.
you alive right now. You're still able to do these amazing things, man. And it's everything plays a part in it. The mental health show. And just to get back to that real quick, I actually did 3 seasons of it. Um I started off, with just episodes of me just talking about different mental health topics. One of the episodes was me talking about, creating a healthy routine for yourself. Like I spoke about, me waking up and playing certain music and then working out, drinking a smoothie, just making sure my day starts off on a
Of
good
course.
note at all times, make sure my energy is right. So after that it kind of elevated into me sitting down with people. And of course it was during the pandemic, so a lot of it was like this over Zoom and shit. But yeah, elevated that into kind of sitting down with people and speaking to others about certain mental health topics and how they deal with, you know, the quote unquote mental issues that they may have, and even conversations with me helping people break down um mental health patterns, or, you know, I say quote unquote issues because I don't really like to use that, but for lack of a better term,
Mhm.
helping people kind of figure out the things that they haven't fully dealt with, whether it's PTSD or, you know, anxiety, anything like that. We all deal with these things, but where we come from kind of dictates how we deal with it. You understand? So
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to be, I guess, one of the first from, you know, my community, if that's the right term, to kind of like break that. You know, it's no secret I'm from where I'm from. You know,
of course.
if you look at me outside, you know, I look mean. That's what a lot of people say.
That's the New York look, man. They say that about all of us New
Exactly, you know what
Yorkers,
I'm
man.
saying? So I wanted to kind of like break that stigma. You know, you'll see me on the show, you know, laughing like I am now, laughing. You know, I got my glasses on, just to show people that, you know, there actually is a high level of intelligence when it comes to the inner city.
Of course.
You know, people still to this day in the year 2022, even though there's a million examples of successful ghetto people, people still think that just because you live in the hood, that your brain is not at a certain level. So it was just real important to me. Basically, I just really wanted to tackle just that whole
Why didn't you make it into a podcast, man? Oh, and put those episodes on a podcast. Yeah, on a podcast.
so and I'm glad, you know, I'm glad we be speaking about this because haven't really got a chance to, you know, kind of break that down.
Mhm.
So I took a break from the show, and that's one of the reasons. The main reason was just me trying to figure out more things that I wanted to do. At the time I turned 30, so a lot changed for me, and I was just figuring things out. So I wanted to pause, you know, kind of go through life a little more, because it just felt like at a certain point it felt like it was kind of getting forced. Like I was reaching out constantly to people to interview just so I could have videos to produce instead of just letting them come natural like I did when it first started.
Yeah, no, I feel you. If
That's
sometimes if you're stressful, I'm not gonna lie.
it starts to feel like a job. Like, damn, I gotta get this person and I gotta get this person. What we
Yeah,
talk about, I gotta do this. So I was like, you know what? Let me take a sit back and kind of rethink and kind of realign, you know, my whole purpose in doing this. So that's the main reason. But to attach to that, the whole process of me starting it, I initially wanted it to be a podcast. Me being stubborn, still to this day, I don't want to let go of the name. That name means something to me, and I feel like that name describes the show better than any other name I could possibly come up with. I feel like the room just I just feel like that works the best. The room to me provides comfortability. It's telling people that this space is a safe and is a healthy space. That's why I titled it The Room,
mhm.
to make it like that cozy feels just one on one. Kind of like I'm a HUD therapist, you know, helping whoever figure out some certain things in their life. And
You
then
know, you know what you could also do, man. Sorry to interrupt you, man. But you know what you could do, like make it a live podcast where your Twitter followers or followers on Instagram, whatever they may be, they could join the podcast and ask questions and talk about their own experiences, and probably you could even give them advice, man. You know, I believe Anchor has this feature where the live audience can actually join into the podcast, and you could talk with them instead of you having to look for them.
I'm glad you said that, because so so basically, long story short, the title I have, there's already a podcast that has that name.
Oh, damn.
That you know, just to elaborate on the fact that I'm stubborn, I don't want to change the name, and I stand on that. You know, I don't want to change the name. I'm a you know, there's some things I got to figure out and loopholes that, you know, I'm still trying to get through. But I'm glad you brought that up, because that is the next step, to make it actually a live YouTube show.
Okay.
Where of course, you know, the recording will be available after the fact, just in case if you miss it.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna be introducing Patreon soon. and I'm gonna kind of split it up. So I'm gonna do live YouTube shows, but then I'm gonna have special content, on the Patreon for a low price. I'm not, gonna hit everybody in the head like $5.99 and shit like that. Probably be like $2 a month. But it'll be exclusive content, exclusive demonstrations as far as like, mental health routines and certain things you can do to kind of better your day mentally. Everything is always gonna be based around mental health. But that is the goal. I'm bringing it back very, very soon. Just haven't decided if I'm gonna do it before this year is over or on the top of next year. But I am gonna bring it back on bigger production. Just everything's gonna look a little better. And I'm glad you brought that up because that is in the works as far as doing it live and allowing people to chime in as the show is going on versus recording the episode, editing it, and then uploading it. So
Yeah.
definitely I'm gonna be coming back. I guess I just kind of wanted to live a little bit more, have regular conversations with people off camera that I can bring to the camera. There's a lot of dope people that I've been meeting, speaking to, that I'm in contact with. And without me even having to ask, they telling me like, yo, when you bring the show back, like let me know. I want to come it up, and I want to come up, we could chop it up, this and that. So
Sure.
definitely either the end of this year or the top of next year, the room where having a healthy mind is priority, presented by FLND TV, which is presented by your boy Desmond Bonet, will be coming back, man. So, if y'all want to be educated on mental health, if you going through some things and you just want to figure out how to get through it, maybe you not at a point where you feel like you're comfortable talking to a therapist, just go to the YouTube channel, man.
Hey man, if anything, you just let me know and I'll come by.
Oh no! That's definitely gonna happen.
Sure.
Yeah, I just had to wait a little bit, but that invite was definitely gonna get sent. Definitely.
For sure, man. I definitely like to speak to your audience. Maybe my story could help someone out there. And if it could help someone, then that means the world to me. Probably back in the days it wouldn't mean that much, but now it does. I don't know if it's the age or the wisdom or the growth. I don't know what it is, man. I just turned 28, so I become like, when you're younger, a lot of things don't mean shit, but as you get older, you become quite sensitive, man. Not in a way where, you become like not sensitive in a way, like, that type of sensitive, more like, damn, man, like things mean a little bit more than they used to,
Or you
man.
start looking at the importance more.
Yeah, that's
Like
the thing.
that's why when you opened up the show, I immediately said like I'm comfortable being a regular person. Like I mean that wholeheartedly. Like
Oh, damn, man, it means a lot.
no, for real, man. Like I'm gonna be 32 next month. Actually, in like 2 weeks, September 9th. You
Oh,
understand?
damn.
So when I turned 30, like I don't know what it is about 30, but when I turned 30, I just started like just appreciating certain shit more and just being more accepting of like who I really am. And
You,
who I really, my fault to cut you off, and who I really am as a person is I'm not a camera guy. Doing this is 100% fine because it's one-on-one.
yeah.
Understand? Doing a live show is 100% fine because I'm still in control of it. But as
Mhm.
far as like like we spoke about before, it goes from a love to now you feel like, damn, I have to do this to please people. And I had to realize that was never what I really wanted to do. Yeah, I love doing the music, but I'm not willing to go.
Sacrifice all of that.
Yeah, like I'm not willing to go and do the club runs and go to all these parties and all of these radio stations.
It's
I know it
exhausting.
sounds crazy. Everybody want to be famous and rich and stuff like that. You can get rich without the things that they tell you that you need. I'm gonna tell you that, and
Yeah.
I'm super comfortable and happy being a regular guy. Even though I got the podcast coming, if you go on my social media, like you see how I post, like I'm barely on it. It's just certain things that I'm not gonna do, and I'm comfortable with that. Like I'm
Mm.
100% comfortable, like living a regular life away from all the extra shit, man. Like I'm happy, man. And it means a lot for me personally to be able to say that.
Yeah,
And
man. I feel you. Like my cousins right there, like, yo, let's go to a club. I'm like, Though I don't even want to see a club. I don't even want to step in a club. I don't want to step in a bar. I don't want to step anyway. I do miss the stage though. I love the stage, but it's just something about that life, man. It's just fucking exhausting, man. Being around so much people around there, just I don't know, man. You know, it's not the same thing. You know, when you're in the goal, when you're chasing your goal, your dreams and shit, it's way different than when you're stepping back. You rather be in a small town where nobody knows you, just doing regular shit, going to the store, getting to know new people, new
Exactly.
experiences and stuff like that. Like when I went to Cali, man, I was down. I was like, I don't want to go back to the city. So I already made a choice. I'm leaving the city regardless. I don't know. This is not for me, man. You know, I need something more of a chill environment where I can have a family, build a life. City
Exactly.
is too hectic, man. Too expensive as well. Man, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, man. It's just, one thing I gotta say is shout out and much respect to everybody that, actually becomes successful in
Of
that
course.
area as far as like, in the music industry and being on stage and shit like that. Cause, it's a lot of people. It's talent, but it's a large percentage of luck. And a lot of people don't like to admit that. But it's hard work, talent, and a large percentage of luck. You understand? So shout out and respect to all of that. But for me, man, and there's a lot of people like this that just don't like to admit it. I'm just
Yeah.
one of those that, I'm comfortable saying that. I'm an introvert. I'm a
Right.
homebody. You know what I mean? Like 9 times out of 10, I'm cool, calm, and relaxed. And I just had to get to a point where I was like, you know what? I don't want to be famous. I don't want cameras following me. I don't want to be the center of attention. I don't want to go somewhere and have everybody just eyes on me. That doesn't do anything for me.
And
It,
as an introvert, man, it will kill you. Anxiety,
so
shit.
that's why now I'm just, I'm doing what makes me happy, man. That's it. Like nothing, there's nothing more important than that to me right now.
Yeah,
You can
happiness is
call it
everything, man.
selfish, call it whatever you want, but at this point in life, the most important thing to me is to do things that make me happy, man.
Of course, man. That's what it's all about. So I'm glad to see that that's what you've been doing, because I did see that you went ghost for a minute. I'm glad, man, that you're in that place, man. I'm in that place too, man, and seeing some of you guys as well getting there. It's like it's fucking amazing, you know. Because when we're young, we just running around in circles in a maze, bumping our heads towards the wall, and we don't even know where the fuck we're going. We're just trying to get somewhere. We don't know where we're going, but we're trying to get somewhere. And then at the end of the day, we realize, hey, man, you know, maybe I was taking the right risk, and I wasn't doing the right things. But hey, man, I learned something from all of that, you know.
That's a fact, man. That's the only thing we can do, honestly.
Hell
At
yeah.
the end of the day, no matter how old you are, you're gonna make mistakes.
Of
Mistakes do
course.
not stop. Like I want everybody tuned down. I want y'all to know that mistakes do not stop.
It's part
But
of life.
exactly, but learning from the mistakes, that's where the importance come in.
Yeah,
As
because
long as
sometimes
you
it's
learning, man, you good. That's the only thing we can do is just learn. Continue to learn, man. You're never too old to learn. Never too old to learn.
of course, man. You know, sometimes it's easier to ignore the problem and ignore everything than actually tackling, you know, whatever's going on. You know, so it takes a lot. It takes a lot, man. I'm happy for you, man. That you actually
I
had the
appreciate
guts to actually, you know, attack your mental problems. I mean, not mental problems. What we should have a different term for this, man, because it sounds
I mean,
bad.
you could say problems because at the end of the day, it is problems. We deal with, and
I,
the only thing with that is with problems, people just got to understand it coincides with creating a solution.
I
Problem
think we should call it healing, bro. Healing, because I think it's generational healing that needs to happen.
like that, like
I
that.
think we need healing. Like I was talking to Meet the Messiah earlier today, doing a podcast episode for this Monday, right? And they were talking about the communities and all this, and I think it's a lot of healing that needs to happen in our communities. That's
Definitely.
that's what's really going on, because we're so hurt from, you know, slavery and injustice and immigration and land being stolen and all these things, which means nothing when you really look at it. It's just something that somebody built to keep us in this little cage and live in a certain way and keeping us in control, which when you really realize it's like it's dumb. Like, why are we living like this? Why are we letting certain things you know, run the way that we live and the way that we act and all these cars and glamour, all this doesn't really mean anything. Because does it really make you happy? Because there's people who are rich and they're not even happy. They're actually quite depressed. They actually commit suicide, which is sad, you know. You know, it really means nothing. You know, yeah, you have it and all, but are you happy? That's
Exactly.
the question.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, so it's a lot of healing that needs to happen because you could have it all, you know, but if you don't love yourself and you don't love your life, it's a problem.
Oh, that's a fact. And just to piggyback and kind of add with what you said, which I totally agree. The only thing with that, and I gotta be 1,000,000% honest with this. Not only do I agree that people need to be healing, but we can't say that without acknowledging the fact that nobody knows. There's people walking around right now dealing with PTSD, but don't know it. There's people right now dealing with depression and don't know it, don't know what's causing it, don't know how to deal with it, just don't know. And that's not a blame on no particular individual. It's just like like I said earlier, just we are products of our environment. And the black and brown communities, we're taught that you do not go to therapy. Whatever issues you have, you suck it up. How many men and women do we know who are alcoholics because they don't know how to deal with issues? It almost hurts to be sober and deal with something that you can't even describe that's going on. And this is coming from somebody that grew up around alcoholics, somebody who grew up hating alcohol.
Same here, man.
But I had to understand that that came from something. A
Yeah,
lot of
man.
people don't. A lot of people don't like to say this, but it's the truth. Weed is addictive. There are a lot of weed smokers who overindulge to not have to deal with reality. It's not as harmful as alcohol, but the way you're dealing with the issues are the same.
Yeah,
But once again, that's how we're taught to deal with things.
that's
You know
true,
what I
man.
mean? So just to go back and elaborate, not only do I agree with you, but just to add to that, I would say, man, like we got to work hard on helping people figure out, well, not really figure out, but helping people see the issues that are there,
Hey,
and then
man.
and then we can start
Sorry,
from that point.
so, sorry to interrupt you, man, but it's about to cut. If it cuts off, I'm gonna start it up again. Right? I'm gonna send you another link.
Got you.
Yeah, man. But continue, man.
But yeah, I was gonna say, we just gotta go from there and then start the healing process. Kind of help people figure out and see the issues that are there that they might not even know that are there, and then start the healing, from that point.
Yeah, and I get it too, because you know sometimes it's hard when you have an alcoholic at home and you're seeing all these things going on. You end up hitting your parent or whatever the case may be, and it just deflects from actually being able to work on yourself, and you're just trying to escape. Or sometimes these young ladies, you know, they leave home because they're trying to leave their environment, and but yeah, man, like I was saying, sometimes these young ladies, you know, they leave home because they're trying to leave their environment. They end up with some guy who just knocks them up, gives them a child, and leaves them. Or sometimes these young dudes, uh you know, they grow up in these environments and they become alcoholics or, you know, drug addicts because they're trying to, you know, get away from their environment and the pain or ease the pain, or they head to the streets because there's no love at home. And these are things that we deal with, you know. And I was in that mix, but thank God I never chose the decision of hitting the streets or alcohol. And matter of fact, I ended up like yourself. I hated alcohol because my father was an alcoholic and he turned into a monster. And it wasn't until he lost his family that he actually, you know, turned around and said, "Hey, man, I just lost my family. I lost everything." And he actually made the decision of actually want to change. But that took like I was already a grown, you know, grown man, you know. So
Uh,
and sometimes things like that have to happen, and things like that happen in our homes, you know. And as hard as it may be, but sometimes it's the best. It's the best decision because I don't want to get too deep into it right now in this podcast. It's mainly about you right now, but yeah, it's a big problem in America, you know, and
Yeah,
I think in the world. It's
definitely.
not just here.
Definitely. Like it's just the best example I could give is like listening to Eminem trash his mother throughout damn near, most of his career. And then after dealing with the issues he had with drugs, now there's an understanding. Like, oh, she didn't want to be this way. This was causing her to be this way. Not justifying and saying that, it makes up for it.
Yeah,
But once you just start to like just look into things from a different perspective, you start to gain a certain level of understanding. And I'm not saying by any means like I'm for alcohol and I'm okay with it and shit like that, like because I'm not. But I guess excuse me, I guess I would say I'm more sensitive because I'm aware and I know that there's an underlining factor that's causing that. I tell people this all the time. There's a why to everything, whether we like it or not.
yeah,
You understand? Like there's a why to some of the harshest shit, whether we like it or not. The serial killer, the rapist, the pedophile. As sick and as disgusting as all of those things are, which I agree, lock them away, kill them motherfuckers. The harsh truth and the harsh reality, and in no way am I justifying it. But facts is facts. I'm only dealing in facts. The harsh reality is a lot of these things have whys. There's a why to everything. And
yeah,
as long as you just dive down the rabbit hole, eventually you'll find out your why. I figured out mine by just keep going. Why am I angry? Is it this? Why does this make me angry? Oh, because of that. Why does that make me angry? These are the things that you just have to do. So, going back to the alcohol thing, me just understanding certain things because a lot of the hate that I have for alcohol is because I honestly felt like if I was to drink, I would become addicted because of what I grew up around. And not until last year I stopped thinking that way to the point to where I was comfortable having a drink because I know I'm just having a drink, but this drink isn't gonna be like detriment to my life. I had to like work up to a point to where I ain't even think like that.
hmm.
Understand? And I'm not gonna lie, I still don't like drinking at all. Tried it last year, great experience, but still not for me.
Yeah. No, it's not for me either, man. I'd rather just have me a glass of wine and call it a day, you know.
Yeah, I'm a ginger ale and a blunt guy, man.
Oh, really? Damn.
That's
No,
me right there. But yeah, man, it's just important that we all take the time to just like study ourselves. At the end of the day, nobody's gonna know you like you.
yeah,
You understand? It's just you have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
yeah,
And I had to become comfortable with knowing that these things was wrong with me and they made me feel uncomfortable. But what kept and I hope I'm making sense, to the people watching.
of
But
course.
what kept the comfortability going was knowing that I was tackling these issues. It was uncomfortable as hell tackling the issues because I didn't want to. I'll keep it 100 with you. I didn't want to face reality and then realize certain things and shit like that. But knowing that there's a visible, for lack of a better term, better part on the other side, and I'm able to actually see it, it made it worthwhile.
But I think people like us, for us, it's easier because we're so used to being uncomfortable. Just stepping on a stage for the first time is uncomfortable. Chasing your dreams is uncomfortable. All these things are uncomfortable. So this is just something where like you have to decide to say, okay, now I want to tackle this. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's definitely possible, because I have a family member who's dealing with the same thing, but he just doesn't know what it is to be uncomfortable. what it is to get out there and actually do it. So that person doesn't know what it is to do, you know. And as much as you try to tell the person, hey man, look, you can do it like this and that, and try little by little, maybe try with this, try with that. But the thing is, as much as you want to help that person, if that person doesn't want to help himself and that person doesn't want to do it, you can't install that. You can't install what you got in you and somebody else. As much as you want to, you can't. Sometimes you just gotta let it be what it is, you know.
Nah, I learned that, man. I definitely, definitely learned that, man. Everybody has their own timeline. Everybody's running by their own clock. That's basically what I learned. Just to kind of piggyback off what you said.
Mhm.
Everybody has their own time. You know, I had to go through what I went through and figure certain things out as I'm understanding now because it was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
And, like you said earlier, everything happens for a reason, and I truly believe that. I stand by that. Everything
yeah.
happening like at a detrimental like part of my life to where I had no choice but to just sit down and figure shit out. And I'm happy I did, man. And that's not to say I'm perfect. I still make mistakes. Every day is a process. Every day is a journey. It's just the fact that you got to be willing to tell yourself that and go through it every day, and
Hey man.
come to terms with the fact that it's never gonna be perfect. There's nothing perfect in this world. The only thing that exists when it comes to perfect is in the terms of something being perfect for you. You
Yeah.
understand? We all have, whether it's the person or it's the thing, we all have that someone or something that's perfect for us.
And you know what's more strong? You know what's more empowerment when you learn to say I'm perfect. And that doesn't mean that you're better than everyone. It just means that for you, yourself, and your world and the life you live, your life is perfect. You're perfect. When you live like that, when you have that mindset, when you learn to live like that and you thank God for another day of life and you say, you know what, today's gonna be a better day. I'm gonna try and be a better human being. Thank you for life and everything, you know. You just live happier, man. You just smiling, glowing, you're living life, everything goes your way, you know. You try to do as best you can because I believe in karma. I'm a big spiritual guy now, you know. I believe in karma, you know, the universe and all these things. So I believe in anything you do reflects back to you. So if you think a certain way, that's gonna come back in a certain way in life, whether it be in consequences, whether it be in things that happen in your life, love, or you know, whatever experience, you know. And that's just the way I live, and I think I live way happier now than I've ever been, man. I feel like I'm on top of the world right now, you know. I don't have the glamour, the fame, and all these things, but I don't need that, you know. As long as I know I'm good, I'm straight, financially, whatever. I don't care about none of that, man. You
And
know.
that's it, man. That's the most important thing, bro. As long as you happy, man, that's the most important thing, man. You know,
Hell yeah, man.
and and that's not me downing the people who like to be on camera and want to be social
Oh
media
no, of course
famous.
not.
Like if that's what truly makes you happy, then by all
Go
means,
for
man,
it.
go hard, kill that shit.
Hell yeah. Now all of us are made for that shit, to be honest, you know.
Exactly. The same way people don't like I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm gonna just try to shy away from it. But the same way people don't like to go on train and hear someone preach religion and try to get them to join or whatever. Just keep the same energy when it comes to that. Understand that there are people who are comfortable living off of social media, and
Yeah.
I'm one of them, man. I'm,
Same here. I'm just there to post certain motivational stuff or
Mhm.
certain things. I'm like, you know what? I want to look back at this because I really don't keep nothing on my camera roll or anything like that. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe someday I might want to look back at this and be like, oh, that's fucking dope. I remember that day. That day was fucking awesome. I did this and I did that. But that's more for me. You know, people just see the visual or whatever little clip. But for me, like I have everything in my brain. You know, not for nothing, but I got kind of a good memory. But unless if it comes to when it comes to music and performing, I forget, you know, which is kind of funny when you think about it. I remember things, but I don't remember a damn song completely. So dumb, bro. Oh no, but
Though, man, like it's it's hard to explain because it's one of those things to where once you go through it and you step on the other side, then you'll fully understand, and then you'll be like, damn, I'm so glad I did this. Like I'm so glad, no matter how long it took. Like I'm just so happy that I decided to do this shit, man. And on my mission, yeah, I guess I would say my mission. Like my mission right now is not necessarily for like a world thing, but just the people around me to feel that way too. You understand?
yeah,
Like um I rarely call people friends. The people that are around me, I'll call them family, whether we're connected by blood or not. You understand? Like, and I just always, just let them know, like, like whatever you dealing with, like I'm always here. Like pick up the phone, you know what I mean? Hit me up, talk about whatever. Even if it's me recommending a book, like yo, there's this book by such and such on anxiety. You should pick it up, read it. Anything like that, man. So one of the important things to me right now is making sure that those around me as well
yeah.
know what the importance of being mentally healthy and dealing with certain shit like that. And it's up to, I would say it's up to this generation to start breaking those generational curses.
And I'm seeing that, man. I'm seeing it little by little with the youth, and I'm happy, man. I always believed in the youth, and just seeing that the youth is doing this, man, it's amazing. They smart, they intelligent, they way beyond
Yeah,
our
actually.
intelligence. I was like,
Huh?
damn, and their wisdom, because I mean, they do have access to all the knowledge
Yeah,
that we
definitely.
didn't have, which is
Mhm.
cool.
And everything is right there. And just to go back real quick to social media, like just because I'm not a social media person, like don't mean like I would never, down somebody else. Like just to kind of elaborate on what you said, like today's generation has some of the courage and strength that my generation or the generation before me or even before them didn't have.
Hell yeah.
With standing up against racism, with speaking up, on certain shit, and just
They're actually doing a change with their voice, not like our generation where it was just they get pepper spray and this and that. No, now they're getting things done. I like to see more of that, but except for less violence and less destruction to our
yeah,
communities, less of that. Uh, because there's no need to destroy our communities when they're not the ones oppressing us. The ones oppressing us are the higher ups. You got to know who
we
to
lose
look at.
we lose our way when
Yeah,
we
man.
get involved, and we lose our way when we get involved in the fight more than the reason for the fight. Some people get lost in just fighting and forget what the fuck they even fighting for. You understand? So I definitely agree with you on that. But just like anything, it's a work in progress. You're gonna have your positive and negatives about everything. But just collectively, I'm just proud and happy that this generation understands the importance of standing up for yourself, standing up for what you believe in, the importance of speaking the truth, the importance of showing people what it is and not being ashamed of it. You know, you go on TikTok, and this is in no way no disrespect. I want people to understand that this is in no way no disrespect. Just listen to the conversation. You go on TikTok and there's famous influencers who have disabilities. You understand? Like no arm, prosthetic leg, wheelchair bound. And these people are showing you that it's possible without being ashamed, standing on their truth, speaking their truth, and still fighting for what they believe in, not letting nothing hold them back.
It's that willpower, man. And that's what actually made me feel comfortable to actually share my experiences now, you know, and actually speak up like, hey man, like, you're not alone. I went through this shit, this, and that, little by little, because I think just doing the whole thing would be too depressing. I don't want it to be too dark, you know. No, I'm not in that mode anymore. I'm more like I really share my experiences if it comes up. If so sort of comes up, then having to do a
Definitely,
whole episode, make it all dark and no, man. No.
definitely, man. Listen, the moral of that is, if you want to be happy, if you truly care about the things that are going on with you, then there's no better way to start than to just start studying you.
Yeah.
Trust me, man, I did it. As somebody who felt like reading was boring, there was nothing that can catch my attention. I am an avid reader right now. Proudly say that. And it started from me finding books to help me figure out me. You understand? And you can only find what you look for.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the books. Knowledge is in the books. It's just that we just gotta find the time and will to want to actually learn or read. Even if you don't want to read, you could just start by asking yourself, "Why am I like this? Do I really like this? Why don't I like that?" You know, trying new things. You know, it doesn't specifically have to be reading. It has to be by knowing yourself. Why you like this? Why you don't like that? You know, everything. You start questioning everything. When you start questioning everything, you might go a little bit insane. But after a while, you like, you know what? It's a good thing I did that because now I know, like, hey man, maybe that wasn't that bad like I thought it was. So maybe this that I thought, maybe this thing that I was doing is actually quite bad for me and for the people around me, and this is why things going on around me and problems and all these things, you know. And you start to know a lot of things about yourself when you start to analyze yourself and be honest about yourself and who you are and what you are. You know,
Exactly, man.
it's crazy, but it's a cool experience of doing that. But I
Definitely.
don't want to shy away from that, man. I think we should keep that for your podcast. I definitely want to talk about that more on your
No, definitely.
podcast.
Definitely. Listen,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into a lot. But what you're saying right now is super important, man. And to bring it, full circle, because
Mhm.
you did, mention the album earlier. That's the main reason why I kind of went ghost, in a sense, like off social media, off everything. Like I deleted my Instagram.
Same.
I want to say probably for like 6 months, like just away from everything. You understand? And one of the reasons I did that is to kind of like just regroup and just figure certain things out. Um, Especially about myself. And I got inspired, man. I got inspired. Had a conversation with somebody who I look up to. Somebody who I consider kind of like an older brother figure. Shout out to Nino the Kid. Had a conversation with him, just kind of expressing that I don't want to pursue music the way I did before. Like I'm kind of just done with it. Like
Yeah.
I love music, but the passion and the motivation and the drive to actively pursue it, to be a successful artist, like it's not there for me. And so after talking, I just came up with this idea of me, and the idea started with no outside influence, like um as far as like people to please and quote unquote fans and shit like that.
It's life experience, man.
Yeah, like none of that was a part of it. Big part of it was for me. I told myself I wanted to put together a body of work that I can go back 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years from now and still be proud of that. I don't, excuse my French, I don't give a fuck what anybody else think about it. You understand? I made S2, which is part two to my September album, which is like my first official album, all original production. First album that I put on Apple Music, for sale and shit like that, not free. So that's why I consider that my first album.
Which is titled Season 2, 30th edition, correct?
Yeah, S2, which is acronym for September, you know,
Oh,
2.
September. Oh, okay, okay.
S2 30th edition for y'all, for those of you who might not know, or if you might have, you know, got up and went to the kitchen real quick when I said it. My birthday's in September. Is
September
one of
9th.
the reasons why I named, you know, the first album September, which is an acronym, Success Embodies Purpose Through Expressive Melodies, Giving Everybody Rhythms. That spells out, you know, the September word. And I just felt like for my last body of work, it just had to mean something. So I chose to just do, you know, my rendition of part 2 to September. And I'm proud of it, man. I worked hard on each and every song.
I love the project, man. It's empowering. It's
Appreciate it, man.
empowering as fuck, man. I was listening to it, I was like, yo, this is something, bro. From the beginning to the end, it's a story well put together. I was like, yo, I think this is Desmond's best project so far, man.
Appreciate that, man. I feel the same way, man. I feel the
And,
same way.
my favorite was Never Stopping and Wait Up. I was like, yo, these I'm definitely rocking
You
at the
know,
gym, bro.
listen, funny story about Wait Up, because it didn't start off as my favorite,
Mhm.
only because I was married to a different version of that song.
Oh damn.
I was never supposed to sing the chorus.
Damn.
I wrote that chorus for someone else to sing. Couldn't make it to the studio,
Oh
so I
man.
tried to have somebody else do it. It wasn't sounding right. So I just got in the booth and, you know, said fuck it. Told the engineer, you know, call me and let's see what happens.
Nah,
And
but you killed it, man.
shit came, appreciate it, man. It came out like that, and now definitely one of my favorites. Never stopping.
Like,
A lot
yeah,
of people don't know this because I don't speak about a lot of personal shit, but there's a song. Let me go through it, man. Like,
and I like the rendition you did for "Let Me Love You" with Lena.
yeah,
Then
man.
I was like, yeah, they killed it, man. Usually when they do remixes like that to songs that are hits, I'm like, I don't know.
I had
But
to, man, and that song was fun to write. It was fun to record, but that song was definitely fun to write. Shout out to Lena because she penned that hook right there. I basically just hit her up, sent her the beat, and told her the idea that I had. I kind of wanted to keep the simplicity of the original chorus with some, you know, differences in there, and just by me telling her that and just kind of humming the idea to her, within 5 minutes she sent me a voice and I was like, yo, I got this, what you think? And I was like, oh, that's it. And I just started writing the verses, man. The verses was personally fun for me to write, is because if you listen to the song initially off the first listen, sounds like I'm talking, it sounds like a relationship song. It sounds like I'm
mhm,
talking about a woman.
yeah,
But if you pay attention, I'm talking about music, and I'm talking about reconnecting with music and getting a second chance with music. I just went about it in, you know, a relationship form. So it was fun to write, man. Legend This Way is one of my top favorites. From the recording process to the writing process.
mhm.
If you listen to Legend This Way and just the storyline that I try to not try, that I did convey in the song. For people who don't know what we're talking about, just elaborate once again. I dropped the album in 2021, titled S2 30th Edition, the last project I put out. With all of the with all of the riots going on, George Floyd, Tiana Taylor, just everything that's been happening over the course of the pandemic, you know, with racism, like just everything that is hype. I wanted to create something that let the cops know that they're not exempt.
Mhm.
So the particular song that I'm talking about, if you go to the album, the title of the song is Legend This Way. And the concept of the song is a black man, you know, dies, gets shot in the song. but it's not your typical, like we've seen the cops doing crazy things. This song is about a cop's child being gunned down. So my purpose and my motive in that was to let NYPD or all PD know that you have children too. A lot of y'all are black and brown, and you have children too. If the cop who's harassing your child doesn't know that they're harassing the child of a PD, then that doesn't exempt them from being treated the way the rest of us get treated.
But I think it has to do with the district too, the sergeants, and some of these people already have strikes. They already have complaints, and they don't do nothing about that. And then some of these people come from suburbs, and they come to New York, where we talk different, our energy is different. The way we talk is loud, and they get frightened. They're like, "Oh no," they feel in danger, and that's the big problem because they don't understand our communities. That's a big problem, and that's how these incidents happen because people who don't understand certain communities or get to know the community or get to know the environment start to, panic and do certain stupidity they're not supposed to do.
Definitely, man. Like it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. The same way, and I'm not, trying to get into the whole racism thing, but the same way white people don't want us to move into their neighborhoods and shit like that. Like it's crazy how those are the police that they choose to have police our communities. Police officers who are not from these areas, who are not from these blocks, some who are not from this city.
Yeah.
Who travel, who done got a promotion and was transferred from fucking Chicago or somewhere else, and they come out here and now they're in charge of, a certain section of the Bronx. It's like, it's crazy, man. But listen, there's so much that we could get into it and keep going. But, I don't want to take too much of your time. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm here for you, man.
This is big for me because it allows me to bring everything full circle. And on a personal level, it was important to me to leave out talking to the same people who helped me when I was still walking in. I was a nobody. You understand? When I connected with you,
Mm-hmm.
it was basically just taking a chance.
Same here, man. Same here, man. We're both in the same boat, brother. Don't even say that. We're both on the grind trying to make our way. I was just trying to make it as an artist. I thought doing interviews and all these things, but the interviews actually freaking awesome because I got to know new people and their stories. So we were both in the same boat. We just so happened not to make it to that position, because it's just not for me. And from what you're saying, it's not for you either,
No, definitely, man. Listen. At this point, I can't even imagine myself being on stage. Everybody just,
yeah,
there for me. Yeah. Like
yeah.
I said, I still have a love for music, but it'll be more on the back end side, like as far as writing for people. I still go to studio sessions and help people. They invite me out. Yo, Des, I want you to pull up. Let me know what you think of this song. See if you got any ideas to make it better. So, I still help in other ways, in other, forms. But as far as me being that center, like I'm cool. Especially with this last project. I did a lot of things that I've always wanted to do, melodically and just idea wise. I held nothing back. Excuse me. I held nothing back with what I wanted to say. and how I wanted to put it together, man. There's a song on the album called Flowers.
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about that one too, man. That one was fucking awesome as well.
A lot of people don't know this because I don't, I'm not a social media person. I'm not gonna speak on a public level, but that's a real song. If you listen to the song, I'm showing respect to everybody who had a help in my music career. To my real older brother, same parents. To my real older brother, showing me how to count bars. You understand? To another gentleman being the first person to take me to the studio and show me how to record. To William White, the CEO of William White Productions, paying for my studio time when I'm 16 years old, taking me to the studio every week, just allowing me to gain the experience of being a studio rat and learning just the importance of how to record in different ways to make songs better. These are people that didn't have to do that.
That's dope, man.
KAR Gun Mob, for recruiting me and giving me, an extra extended platform to create and go hard. Have opportunities to do different amazing things. You understand? And the reason why I brought that up is because, just elaborate once again, people don't know this. A lot of those people on the song that I shouted out, a lot of them I haven't spoken to in a good amount of years. A few of them we've had like a falling out, like a bad falling out, to the point to where I can honestly tell you right now, a lot of them, I don't know if I could ever be cool with them again. There's no hate, but I just don't know if I could ever be in that same space again. But that doesn't mean that I'm not man enough to acknowledge and show respect and love to the people that had something to do with why I'm here, as
Yeah.
far as the music industry, as far as just in this field. The reason why I guess I'm good at talking on podcasts and interviewing like that is because shout out to Red who gave me the opportunity to host KAR Radio. And for those of you who don't know what KAR is, that's a label who's ran and owned by Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete is Fat Joe's right hand man. So this is just to give you an idea of what I was around that allowed me opportunities to do certain things. And this was an internet radio show. You understand? And I'm not gonna fake numbers because I really don't remember, but I just know that there was a good amount of numbers that I was pulling in. You understand? So it's always been around. You feel what I'm saying? Like I've always just been into different shit. So it was important to me, no matter what differences we had, it was important for me to be like, you know what? I just want to say thank you to all of these people who had something to do with my music career, whether it was teaching me how to write properly, whether it was teaching me how to count bars, whether it was teaching me like what was a lyrical bar versus a simple bar, whether it was, like I said, on William White Productions, taking me to the studio now, allowing me to go through that process of just recording without having to wait, without having to worry about paying for the studio time, which is why I take studio time important now. Which is why, let's say I was to say, fuck it, I'm not done with music and I go to the studio tomorrow. I'm not going to the studio and I'm not bullshitting. I'm not trying to freestyle for 30 minutes or 3 hours and only come up with one song. I'm pre-prepared with everything.
And for that same reason, man, I appreciate people like yourself, who gave me an opportunity, man. I was nobody. I'm still nobody. I appreciate you guys who gave me opportunity to interview you guys because I'm an introvert with high anxiety. So just interviewing you guys made me so uncomfortable in that position. And I was uncomfortable as shit, don't get me wrong. But because of that, I'm socially not awkward anymore. I'm actually quite sociable now, which I was surprised when I was in Cali. I was really social with everyone. I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy?
It's about experience, man.
And everybody who get
once you was able to do something that you love, that kind of combated, the social awkwardness and stuff like that. It's all about experience, man. Once you just get used to something, and you be like, man, I don't know why I thought I was, because I'm the same way. I hate people, and then I got to a certain space, and I'm like, man, I don't know why I thought that. Man, I love talking to these motherfuckers.
Yeah, for real, and everyone who gave me an opportunity, man. I'm in the same position, man. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's the age or what it is for me, because I already done everything I wanted to do.
Growing,
Maybe it's not that position where I hope to get. I hope that I got to, but I did everything I wanted to do, man. You know, no regrets. I did everything I wanted to do. You know, I feel like okay, I'm on to my next chapter of my life. You know, music is not for me either anymore. You know,
that's
so
dope. You know, dope. That's dope, man.
by interviewing you guys, being here in the podcast time to time, and sharing your story and getting to know new stories, and probably being able to relate and learn something new from each and one of you guys means
Definitely.
more to me now than actually being on a stage or on a club or getting noticed by people or anything like that. And it means way more to me now. This means way more to me now, you know. But you're saying a story and all this. Is this like a retirement for you? Like, is this an announcement, a retirement
As
announcement, or
far,
what it is for you?
as far as music, as far as me creating another solo project, absolutely.
Damn.
Absolutely. What I will say publicly, and because I owe this to them, shout out to Nino the Kid, shout out to Lena the artist, shout out to KBX. There's three promises that I made. Record a project with Nino, record Lovers Playlist Part 2 with Lena the Kid, and record a project with KBX. So in the event that people do get new music from me, it'll only be in that form, fulfilling promises to my family members, my two brothers and my sister, and just recording those projects with them. But as far as solo projects and anything like that, absolutely, absolutely retired from music. I'm done with that. But what y'all can look forward to is the room where, excuse me, the room where having a healthy mind is priority. I'm bringing that back the top of next year. So y'all can just tune in for that, man. The same way I'm on here with Acapellic, I'm gonna make sure he come on my show and we gonna
Of
chop it up. We're
course.
gonna have fun, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
you. I appreciate you for this is my third time on your platform. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you, man. Every single time you come in, it's a fucking interesting conversation. Mainly now that I'm in a good position mentally, and being able to have a stable conversation with you and not being all over the damn place, Now that if I was all over the damn place, man, I was like, what the fuck am I saying, man? But this is awesome, man. And I'm good to see that you're doing good, man. It sucks
Appreciate
that
it.
you're going into retirement, but hey, man, this is what makes you happy, then go for it, man. And I can't wait to see what you do next. But I think we're gonna end the podcast right here. If anything, I'm gonna list all your information below the podcast and YouTube channel. You guys, as you guys may know, you could see this on Spotify or podcast forums and YouTube video form. But until next time, man, make sure to follow Desmond Bonet on all social media platforms and YouTube to get
Yes.
notified about all the new music and the new podcast episodes. Until next time, it's your boy Acapella Don. It's scary, baby. We
Yeah.
Acapellic.